let's get off that bandwagon and talk about something less topic driven. Let's just talk about animes in our life in general. What's been going on?
Did you start watching Jojo's Bizarre Adventure yet?
No.
Oh my god.
That's what I was saying. Maybe I said the wrong. Did I say Berserk? I meant to say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I tried to watch the original, older version of it before it was revamped. And that one I couldn't get into too much. It was just way too campy for me. And I kind of have a bias against campiness, and that show is campy as heck.
The newest version, I think it was like in 2012. Mm-hmm. That's the one I've been watching. It's
that's the one I obviously need to watch then. Okay, good stuff.
The beginning's a bit dry because it starts out in like the 1800s, I think.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot going on. It's like the beginning of the saga.
Tom, you playing with a pen right now?
I am playing with a pen.
Beginning of the saga. So yeah, they started off the series with like a little bit of, like episode 0 type content where they're
it has to start
recapping
somewhere.
Yeah.
The whole thing with JoJo, and I'm going to try and do this without spoiling everything for you, but it like goes through the years. It's not just in one time period. There's like all this stuff going on. They're using all these crazy... It gets crazy, and they get some crazy powers. They start like just...
Does it just become like Superman where they just start being able to do whatever the heck they want whenever they want?
The biggest thing, and probably my favorite thing about the series, is that like while they're doing their attacks, they're like describing everything that's happening in the attack. And then they're even like predicting what the other person's gonna do and say, like, and now you'll say this and do this, and I'm gonna do this, and then they do it, and it's like, oh my god!
Sounds intense.
It gets crazy.
Alright, so yeah, not spoiling, can't really get too deep into it. Kind of harkening back to the original topic of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, with how bizarre and adventurous it is. You thought I was talking about Berserk then? Did you try to watch that one?
I did. I watched the first episode.
Oh, okay, I was about to say, because it moves very slowly. And it takes a while for it to build. Like I said, I recommend it, but it's not for everyone. I understand that.
A lot of animes are like that, though. You got to get through the first couple episodes, and then it starts to snowball, and you get real into it.
Oh, man,
so, I'll have to give it another shot. Steins Gate was kind of like that for me.
Yep, I could definitely see that for Steins Gate. That was honestly what I was worried about showing that to you, because it takes a little while for it to stop tripping over itself and start rolling.
But when shit goes down, it is like the most like...
yeah. I was on the edge of my seat. Like, it takes a lot for me to want to binge watch and in a series in general, and that one was like... I couldn't do it because I obviously had too many responsibilities at the time, but I was just like, oh my god, I want to just watch all this. I want to watch it all right now.
It was so good. And, alright, I'll say this right now. Spoiler alert. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert. Spoiler fucking alert. The end-ish, when he can't save, what's her name?
Yeah.
Not his friend, his assistant, Chris, the one he always calls Christina. I forget her actual name.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
He tries to save her, and he couldn't, and he comes back out of the time machine, and the other girl, who's actually like John Titor, or was pretending to be John Titor, sends him, like, shows him the message of himself from the future back to himself.
Yeah.
And he's just watching that, and he's like, and remember, El Psi Kanguru. And he just is like, oh my god. Dude, that was nuts. He's like, I'm still like this when I'm 50 or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, it started exploding towards the end, and I really liked that about it. Like, just really wrapping it up well. I feel like it didn't, try to pull an ending out of its butt or anything. It actually kind of wove it pretty nicely in there, kind of ending the series on a good note and as well as they possibly could.
The thing about a series like that is, like, I gotta wonder, did they write that from end to beginning?
Well, because it was probably an anime or a manga first, so I never know that in general. Like, when the manga was written, did they have all that planned in there?
They had to have, because in like the beginning episode, you hear when he himself gets stabbed by her father.
Yeah.
You hear a guy scream, but then you find her on the ground with blood.
Uh-huh.
So it's like they had to have known that though, because you hear himself scream.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a short anime, so also within production, they obviously had the story all written out already and everything.
Right.
What was I trying to think of? Oh, I'm trying to say, like, I know from, like, watching Futurama, how they had, like, certain things they would just leave open and try to get back to later in the series. Like, in the first episode when you saw, like, Nibbler's eye in the shadow and stuff like that. They kind of just throw those things in there and then make up as they go on what should fit into that part.
Okay.
And that's maybe what they did, but I really think that they had that whole plot planned out. But I mean,
right.
that is another, not subject, but another way to do that in order to make those things that you can, go back in the past episodes and figure out that they could have been alluding to this the whole time. Foreshadowing? Is that really what I was looking for? God.
That's what you were looking for. Man, yeah, if I ever become a writer, I'm just going to, like, throw random stuff in and be like, we'll figure it out later, and then come up with some crazy master plan.
Sounds good. I mean, it's just as good as making the crazy master plan up at the beginning, but, I mean, no one can guess it if you're literally making up out of nowhere. Just saying.
I also recently... Okay, I'm pretty sure I watched this in, like, one day. One Punch Man.
Okay, so I watched the first 3 episodes of that, because, I mean, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I always try to save animes, movies, books, whatever, for specific moments in my life. Ones that I know are going to be great. And One Punch Man, I've just heard so much hype about that I knew it was going to be great. I ended up watching that with Caitlin and her friend Kevin, when I was over in the Poconos last time. I watched the first 3 episodes, trying to find a reason to watch the rest of them. Obviously, I haven't found much interaction with people who like animes since then, but from what I saw, it is exactly as great as everyone was explaining it. So go on with what you were saying, Tom.
Well, the biggest thing... I really like the humor in it.
Uh-huh.
The biggest thing is it breaks the traditional anime style where... the hero is, like, trying to become stronger, then an enemy appears, and then he's about to lose, and then out of nowhere rips something out of his ass and wins. With him, I forget his name. It's like Satoru or something.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this in a day, so I don't even... there's only, like, 12 episodes.
Yeah.
But, he's already, like, the strongest... in the world.
Yes.
So, like, it's... yeah, he's just, like, just doesn't care about anything.
I love, I mean, that's the thing, too. It's not, like, unrealistic how powerful he is, because he does explain, like, how he goes through a rigorous training regimen, like, every single day.
You did get to that part? Where
yeah, I got that far.
He's just like, I just do 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups and run. And never turn the AC or heat on. It's like, no matter how hot or cold it gets, you just endure it.
Yeah. It's his ridiculous training regimen. But yeah, I like that about him, where he's just like, yeah, I'm hardworking, and it really, really sucks that nobody's ever challenged me, but it's also kind of nice. I'm One Punch Man.
Yeah. No, I really liked it.
Yeah, it seems hilarious and not too... skin deep when it comes to plot-ish, maybe.
I thought it could have been longer.
Definitely.
They left some loose ends that I wish they had tied up.
Well,
at the same time, though,
are they not continuing it? I know nothing about it.
I don't think they're continuing it. I think it's done.
One Punch Man's a One Punch series. Never
One
gonna
Punch
have a season
series.
2.
Yeah, I think it's done. They have nothing more to... The loose ends that they need to tie it up have nothing to do with the main character. They already, like, finished up the main character. They told his story. But still, there are some things that I was like, wait a minute, what about this guy? What happens to him? Wasn't he looking for this other guy and he never finds him? So I'm like... whatever happens with that, but
maybe they'll do some spin-offs then. That'd be really nice.
That would be nice. I wouldn't mind a spin-off. I'd probably watch a spin-off.
Yeah, like maybe he'll just show up in the series. And like I'm saying, I don't know. Probably for people who read the manga, because the manga's still going.
Really?
Would know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why they wouldn't do more with this anime.
Well, maybe they will do more with it. I hope they do more. I'll watch more.
Yeah, I totally would as well. And I feel like it has enough of a following that it'll make them financially worth it.
Right. My favorite part is... So then, I bet you got to this part then. Did you get to that part where
give me a second. Murata announced in the last weeks of the first season's airing schedule that he was working on making a second season a reality. So it's not confirmed, but he is trying. That was of December 2015. All right, so go on with what you were saying.
Did you get to that part where they get to that underground lab, and there's that one guy who goes into, like, maximum hyper overdrive?
Yeah.
And he's like... he's like, at this rate, I'll be like this for a whole week till next Saturday. And then he starts freaking out. He's like, oh my god, I made a huge mistake. He's like, if 1 week from today is next Saturday, then today is Saturday, which means I'm missing the sale right now, the bargain sale at the supermarket. And he's just like freaking out, and he's just like, oh my god.
That was hilarious. I mean, that's his motivation. He needs to make this, like, bargain sale in order to... He's just like, crap, I'm spending too much time fiddling around with these dudes. I need to get to my sale. Time to wrap this up.
I was like, is he seriously worried? Like, is this guy seriously going to be a challenge for him? And it's like, no. Like, he's just...
He's One Punch Man.
Yeah. Oh. What else? Oh, I finished Fooly Cooly.
Oh, good. I enjoy Fooly Cooly quite a bit. It's just always something I can show people, and it's only 6 episodes long, so even if they hate it, they can't really complain because it only took them, 3 hours or whatever?
6 hours, 3 hours, yeah.
43 minutes times, yeah, go ahead. What were you saying about it?
Man, what the hell is going on in that anime?
It took me to the second time I was watching it to understand the main overarching plot. That's how screwed up it is. I mean, it's another one of those animes that's making fun of animes. So, they're intentionally making it as twisted and screwed up and hard to follow as possible. But, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it was, I know there's a lot of, is it euphemisms? Or symbolization? Symbolism. There's a lot of things that happen that represent the main character's changes in his life and things he's going through.
Yeah.
But and then there's the main storyline, and I'm like, wait, what?
Why is this? Why is this thing coming out of this guy's body? What's going on? Why are these things on fire? Just in general.
Yeah.
A lot of uneasiness watching that one.
Yeah. I liked it though.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. It was good. Apparently they're making more.
Really? That would really be a surprise to me. Let's look up. Fooly Cooly. Looking up the things. So while I'm looking that up, unless you want to continue with Fooly Cooly any further.
Oh yeah, look, Adult Swim is making a sequel to Fooly Cooly.
Oh, okay, so they're producing it themselves.
Yeah, they bought the rights to it.
That's fantastic. I would, like I'm saying, I'd definitely watch that. So, I really like all the different ways they spell Fooly Cooly as well. Like FLCL, FOOLYCOOLY. Just, I think I do FOOLIECOOLIE, like Fooly Cooly. 2 new seasons totaling 12 episodes are announced for March 24th, 2016. Which was what? How many? Okay, they were announced then, so they're not produced yet. That's awesome. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh no, they were half-hour episodes. Or, half-hour minus commercials, so...
Right, so
it really is just a 3-hour event. Okay, so... Anime that I watched, I don't know if I mentioned it last time we were talking, or if I watched it in between that time, but Parasite the Maxim was what I was watching. Have you heard of that one before?
Someone might have been telling me about it, but what is the main story?
Okay, so it's a kid who gets infected by an alien parasite that, like, normally it gets into people's brains and takes over their body and, like, gives him all sorts of ridiculous powers, but this one specifically tried to get to his brain but ended up getting implanted in his arm. So, like, the kid still gets to keep his consciousness while he has this parasite in his hand. And they're just completely cold stone, like, I really don't know what we're doing, but, like, we need to eat humans, we need to, like, you know, like, spread ourselves throughout the world and, like, kill as many people as possible, like, I don't know, just extremely, like, in the world of fight and flight, like, they're just extremely fight, and they're extremely, I don't know, dominating, but, like, yet again, they really don't know what they're doing. So that's kind of what they develop throughout the series. And then, like, obviously, the character himself develops a lot, and, you know, you learn more and more about the mystery of the parasite as time goes on. There's some intense action scenes. In general, though, like, that's all the good parts of it. The one part that just I could never get past is how stupid the freaking parasites look. Like, I mean, if you just Google it right now and look at the pictures, like, they really could have made the parasite portion of it a lot less creepy and a lot more cool looking, in my opinion. It kind of just looks dumb. It looks like, you know, I've got a finger with an eyeball on it. Like,
what is it called? Parasite Maxim?
Parasite the Maxim. Parasite is spelled Syte. I don't know if there's a difference between...
Yeah, okay. Oh!
Yeah, like... I liked it a decent amount. It was definitely a good action, you know, deep enough plot to keep me tied into it. And then, like, around the time when it started getting, like, old hat and started, you know, like, building, they didn't really do much more with it. They kind of just ended the series, and that's exactly what I would have wanted. Like, it just reminds me, when I think of a show like that where that didn't end up happening, that would be, like, Death Note, where, like, it should have ended 2 seasons before it actually ended.
Okay.
So, like, that's the one thing I like about it.
There's this one picture of his hand all, like, fucked up with the eye and the mouth, and it's got, like, a thug hat, and it says, like, Thug for Life, and he's got, like, a Glock.
But yeah, like I'm saying, like, I honestly wouldn't have watched this show if I looked at all these images. I would have been like, wow, this looks really, really stupid. But it you know, it moved enough for me to keep watching it, and that's all I can say about that anime. Definitely one worth watching.
Okay, what is right now probably your favorite anime?
There's so many reasons to call an anime my favorite, and that's the issue with it. I'd say,
like, the one that you
I'd probably say
the most.
Brotherhood, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I always go back for artistic and, like, for epitome of anime, I would put Samurai Champloo, but, like, in general, probably Brotherhood. Like, it was just long enough, just good enough of a story, just good enough development, enough action, enough, you know, quality characters, quality sounds, music, plot, that, you know, like, that's kind of the one for me. But Samurai Champloo also holds a really nice place in my heart. Just due to its wacky theme, and, you know, like, they never really hold back in the plot. It looks artistically beautiful. It sounds artistically beautiful. Like, I just really like the way they put those two. So that's probably up in my top 2. What about you, Tom?
Brotherhood, probably. I really like Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist.
I did really like that. Cowboy Bebop is still probably one of my favorites.
Definitely up there.
I also like Samurai Champloo, but I like the whole theme and setting of Cowboy Bebop a lot more.
I can see that, yeah.
Especially the music, man. Oh, that music.
So jazzy. And that's another thing I like about Samurai Champloo. It's just that little tinge of, like, hip-hop that they throw in there.
Right? Yeah. No, I dig that.
Mm-hmm. So those are your top 2, kind of similar top 2s, I should say?
Top 2, and JoJo.
JoJo's in there now?
Adventure.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of my favorite.
Have you seen Space Dandy?
Yeah, I've heard of it, and I haven't watched it yet.
It's ridiculous humor, like, barely even followable. Like, have you actually seen Bobo Bobo Bobo? Because that's usually the epitome of ridiculous humor that I use for my anime standards. If you haven't, the anime I was just explaining, it does that, Space Dandy, it does that with a lot more class, I should say. Not to say that this show has any class at all, but, oh man, I'm liking it a lot. Or, I mean, I finished it, and it was good. Definitely worth watching. Basically, if you like the first 3 episodes, you'll like the rest of the series. That's all I can say about it. And, I mean, it does do some of that stuff that you see in Cowboy Bebop. I mean, it was made by the same people, generally, so that's probably the reason why. But it does have some of those episodes where it just changes the style of the anime and shows you some just ridiculous music or, like, art style to it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, good stuff. Those are the last 2 I watched. Space Dandy being the most recent, and then Parasite the Maxim being the one before that.
I probably also have to... Okay, top... Oh, see, a top 3 would be hard. Because I really like Gurren Lagann as well.
It's my bias against space. Giant robots.
Giant mechs.
Really
I know. That and Evangelion are the only 2 giant robot ones that I've watched.
Yeah. Like, I got far enough into Gurren Lagann to respect it, and, you know, like, the believe in the me that believes in you, I still use that for people, just because it's just so precious. I have some good memories with it, but it still has giant robots and lots of fan service, and that's not what I'm all about.
Yeah, the fan service, yeah. Okay. The fan service turned me off, because I was like, yeah, okay. So, yeah, the fan service.
And then Evangelia, I started watching Evangelia, and I think there was enough plot minus the robots that I could have finished watching it, but just never ended up doing it.
Evangelion is like, there's so much, it follows this whole thing, this whole mythology of Adam and Lilith.
Okay.
And, it's not just about the robots, it's like, it follows this whole mythology thing about, oh my god.
You don't have to get into it, Tom.
I was sitting there with Lisa, and she was reading the whole mythology thing, like, coincidentally, as I was watching it.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. There's this thing called Adam, and this other thing called Lilith. And she's like, oh my god, I'm reading about that right now in this book.
Uh-huh.
And she, like, explained it to me. I was like, this is crazy.
So, have you seen Future Diaries yet?
Future Diaries?
Future Diary? Yeah, it's Mirar Nikki.
No.
Okay, that's your next plan. That's your next anime. I'm throwing it out there. I'll watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the newer one. You watch Future Diary.
Okay. Where do you watch? What do you usually watch it on?
If it works well, I watch it on. Let's look up here. Ryu Anime. That's the one I use.
Ryu Anime.
Mm-hmm. That's the one I watch mine on. And I always do English dub.
Okay. If that doesn't work, try Kiss Anime.
Okay. That's another one that I know works usually pretty well.
That's the one I watched all of JoJo on. It's really good.
So the new version of JoJo, because like I said, the older one was just way too campy.
Yeah, you got to get like the 2012 version.
2012?
2012? Once you get up to a certain point, they don't have any more dubs. I guess they're coming out, but they haven't been released.
That's fine.
Yet.
If I'm like attached to it enough, I'll start watching it with subs.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like One Punch Man. It was just good enough for me to want to watch it subbed. I don't think there's any other animes that I've watched that were subbed so far, though.
I watched a couple subbed. I watched like Attack on Titan subbed.
Mm. Yeah, they releasing that, or did they do the English version of that yet, or are they just partially done with it?
I have no idea. I'm still waiting for part 2 to come out. Like, when the hell is that happening? Part 2!